Good afternoon from the Iowa State Capitol. The big news this week is that the House and Senate leadership reached an agreement on supplemental state aid for schools, setting that rate at 2.3%. The Senate and House both approved those bills on Wednesday, so now you have some certainty with respect to planning. We know that that's not what we'd hoped for, and we had really pushed as hard as we could for that 2.5% and for the House to stand firm. But as we get closer and closer to the March 12th meeting of the Revenue Estimating Conference, things that are going on nationally and internationally, particularly with coronavirus and the impact that it's having and may continue to have on the economy, is something that concerned us. And we felt like it was in our best interest to push for a deal to be settled before that meeting, just in case the Revenue Estimating Conference came back with some really low numbers. So from our standpoint, this 2.3% agreement is a good thing given the timing and given what is happening with the economy. So please be sure to thank your elected officials for getting this done and for reaching an agreement, and $87 million in new money coming through the school aid formula. Certainly we know it's not going to solve all of the problems and we can always use more, but it's a good foundation, and it is one that we're going to continue to build on. The three things you need to know about this week. Number one, work continues on the Therapeutic Classroom Clear Bill. Some call it the School Violence Bill. This bill is passed the Senate and is now over in House Appropriations, and we're working from the Senate file. There's really three goals for this bill. Number one is to give teachers and administrators more tools, more training on de-escalation and how can you help prevent behaviors from getting out of control. How can you manage those in the classroom so that we can avoid having to use those last-ditch activities like a classroom clear. Number two, it's giving teachers some more confidence that they can remove the child causing the disruption without fear of discipline or being sued because they put their hand on a student. It's not about opening it up for teachers to become more aggressive towards students. It's about saying we want to remove the child causing the disruption, but we're nervous about doing that. The third thing the bill does is create a grant program to help increase the number of therapeutic classrooms around the state. Therapeutic classrooms, when done in conjunction with mental health providers, provide a safe space, a safe short-term educational space for students that may need a little bit of time to help work on managing their behaviors so that they can re-enter into the classroom. These have been really proven to work and been very successful. It's not the first step, it's again the last step that is taken, but it is something that we need more of, particularly in areas where our mental health services are sparse. Number three, the school-based telehealth bill, which pairs nicely with the therapeutic classroom and the school violence classroom clear bill, has passed the Senate on a unanimous vote and will come out of the House Human Resources Committee next week. This bill really does three things. Number one, it makes the schools a site of service for private insurance reimbursement. Number two, it sets up the process and the parameters and what are the expectations on patients, providers, parents, schools, with respect to telehealth in schools. It's designed to help kids receive those services in a school-based setting to minimize the amount of time that they have to leave class to go receive services. And then number three, the bill sets up the parameters and a process for schools that want to do universal screenings to help identify students who might benefit from some additional mental health services. We're really excited about this bill. It's got a lot of support, and we feel very confident that this is going to move forward and become law this year. Number three, Advocacy Action of the Week. We don't have anything really big and major, but what we need you to do is continue talking to your legislators about the need to move two bills. The bill in the Senate would allow you to exceed the 10% cap for the instructional support levy to pay for school resource officers. The bill in the House would allow you to exceed, if you are capped below 5%, to exceed that for dropout prevention funding, which also will really benefit mental health, school resource officers, and those types of things. Both of those bills are a little bit stalled right now. The SRO bill is in Senate Ways and Means, and the dropout prevention is in House Appropriations. So that grassroots support, while you thank them for the 2.3%, say, here's something you can do that will help us even more by getting it passed this year. That's it for this week, and thank you for all of your advocacy.